Hello and welcome back. After all the work with the banjo project and all the videos on that, I thought it would make a change to do a video on something more akin to wood turning. Hurrah, I hear you shout. We will see. I've been quite busy up to Christmas, trying to get together bits and pieces to do more pen turning. And I'm also going to review a few things in the hope that that will help you out there who haven't tried the particular items. So firstly, let's have a look at a few of the things I've got here. I've been quite busy with Texas Murfield buying pen kits, and I've got a few Zetas and a couple of Omegas to turn. I've also bought some pen blanks from Martin Savin Smith, and you can get those on his website. And he advertises the fact that what you see in the picture is exactly what you get, and he's dead right. So I ordered a couple of boxes, and I've got some lovely pen blanks here. I've got yew, teak, laburnum, there's some ash in there, some cedar of Lebanon. So I've got some really nice blanks to make pens with. Thank you, Martin. And also I've treated myself. I decided it was about time I had a go with carbide cutters. So I've treated myself to a set of pen turning chisels from Glen Teagle, and these are they. They're quite short, as you can see, but they get a really good grip on them. And all I've done with them so far is cut some HDPE to make some bushings, some plastic bushings for when I'm finishing with CA. So it's a set of four, 3 standard carbide cutters. There's the fine tool there, a round carbide tool, and a square. And as well as that, there's what's known as an AU cutter. I don't know whether you can see that, but this edge here is dished inward. So unlike the other tools, you don't take this straight into the work, you always go in at an angle, and it gives you a much finer cut. So I'm going to be using those to do the pens. So it'll be interesting to see just how I feel about them, and how the shorter handle works. I'm so used to chisels with a much longer handle, so it's going to be interesting to see just how they do. So I've got all the bits and pieces together. It's just a matter of getting on with doing the turning. I'm not going to go through all the preparation of gluing the tubes into the blanks and cutting the blanks to length and all that. There's plenty of that on YouTube. We don't need any more of that. But what I will show you is me using the carbide chisels, so you can get an idea of how they're working. And obviously I'll show you some final pens at the end. So that's what we're going to do today. I hope you enjoy it, and here comes the video. Okay, so the mask on, I may sound a little muffled, I apologise for that. This is by far the best tool I've found after doing a couple. I'm cutting around centre, you can take some very light cuts. This is laburnum. Speed the lathe up a little bit.
That's not bad at all. That's okay, is that? So I'll get a bit of sanding done on that now, I think. I'm going to start with 150 because there is a little bit of tear. That's probably due to my inexperience rather than the chisel. So we'll slow right down and just go through some sanding. Especially for Keith Barrow this, I know he loves to see a bit of sanding. The bushings on here are actually steel. Down at Taylor's Moorfield didn't have any of the correct bushings in for the Zeta pens, so he very kindly made some out of steel for me as an interim measure. I can only say all my dealings with Dan have been fine. And the stuff he uses is fantastic.
Right, the voice should be a little clearer now. It's not quite as echoey either with the face mask off. So I'll carry on sanding and get this to the point where we're going to put some finish on it, and I'll be back with you. So that's sanded down to 400 grit, which is the finest I've got at the moment. Now I mentioned earlier that I'd made some HDPE bushings, and these are they, and I learnt a little lesson. I made them by cutting them down to bushings, the smallest bushings I had. That wasn't good enough, because when I made one of these earlier and I put this between the two and got it central, what it did was crack the wood along here, because it was pushing against the wood and not against the tube. So after you've cut them down, just take them right off, so that even a small tube the bushings can just sit inside like so. That's all you need. It doesn't need to be any tighter than that. I'll just pull up the stop. That's it, that's fine. So that now is ready for finishing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on 8 coats of CA glue, thin CA glue. I'm going to work very quickly so that it doesn't stick, and I'm going to use Catalyst. And what I do is I have 2 pieces of kitchen towel, one to put the CA glue on with and one to wipe off the Catalyst. Because if you leave the Catalyst on, the next layer goes off too quickly and you end up with everything sticking. So here we go. I'm putting it on at the top because it's thin. Just a quick run along there and literally like so. On with the Catalyst and then wipe the Catalyst off. I don't like wearing gloves when I'm doing this. I always worry about gloves with a spinning object, so I tend not to use them here. Oops. Fresh piece of towel, and not the piece opposite where I've been working. think that's 4. There we are. 8 coats or so. Just put out the slowest the lathe will go, which in this case is about 700 revs. So that's not bad at all, actually. So now I'm going to go through with the micromesh pads and get that down to a nice finish. I tend in the early ones to use plenty of water, keep it as cool as I can, and clean off the pad regularly. Make sure I dress the ends properly. And then clean off and dry off. Ready for the next one. You see that's coming up really well, and we're not halfway through the micromesh yet. Personally, I find using the thin CA glue much easier, less messy, and it tends to create less slurry than using the medium. So that's why I do that. I use the medium for gluing in the tubes. So another 3 grits, and we'll be up to 12,000 grit. This is about 6,000 grit at this point. And we're really very fine now, but you'll notice that there's no slurry at all now. It just looks like clean water now. Very little coming off at all. We're burnishing rather than cutting at the moment. So this is the final grip. And just dry off a little. And then what I like to do at the end is just get a clean piece of towel. Dry off, and then I turn the lathe up a little bit and heat it up. Because the paper itself will be cutting, very, very fine burnishing. But I don't use any form of plastic polish on here at all. I don't find it necessary. I think the paper does the job. And there we are. How about that? Let's just take it off the nail drop. Oh, look at that. Hope you can see the shine on that. That's lovely. Really nice piece of wood. So we'll make that into a pen. So how did I find things at the end of the day? Well, let's start with the carbide tools. I absolutely love them. Absolutely love them. Very sharp. In the end, the only one I used was this with the square. I did try all the others, but I found this was the very best for what I wanted to do on the simple pen blanks I was doing. So I'm very, very pleased with these. Very nicely made, very solid, very sharp tips on them, and it'll be a while before I have to turn that one round, I think. So I'm very, very pleased with them. They do have a nice heft. I know Mike Walters reviewed the larger ones before, but I thought it might be interesting to see the pen ones. Very, very well made, and very, very nice to use. And considering I've never used carbide before, I did very well on the pens. But this was all I needed at the end of the day. So those chisels are absolutely wonderful. So Glen Teagle is the place to go as far as I'm concerned. Just fabulous. They're really, really nice to use. The pen blanks from Martin were absolutely fantastic. It's made some lovely pens, and I'll show you those in a minute. So I can't be more pleased with those. Thank you very much, Martin, for those. So all told, I've had a good day actually, and I've learnt quite a lot. So down to pens. I've made 3 pens in total. This is one of them. This one is U, and this is chrome and gunmetal. Gunmetal here on the tip and on the clip. The beauty of these pens is they screw at the top, so you're not going to catch them with your hand while you're writing, and they fit nicely in the hand. They're a little smaller than the Sierra pen. Very, very nice indeed. Extremely good quality. This one is Cedar of Lebanon, and this is the one that I cracked, and I don't know whether you'll be able to see that, but the crack is fairly full longitudinally. I've tried to hide it with the clip. I won't be obviously attempting to sell that one, but this one is gunmetal and chrome, so more gunmetal and chrome on the tip and on the clip, and gunmetal here and here. But again, a lovely pen, very solid, really nice. And the third one I'm really pleased with, this is Laburnum, and it's the gold finished pen. So there's gunmetal here on the cap and here on the barrel, but it's all finished in gold with laburnum tone, and that piece is really nice, isn't it? It really has a nice colour to it. I'll try and get some stills of them in better light so you can see. We're very pleased with those indeed. This pen here is one I made some time ago. It's one of the slimline kits from Taylor Murfield. And what I did with this is slightly different. This is American Ash, and you see there's no shine to that at all. And I finished this with heated beeswax. What I actually did was I spun up the blanks on the mandrel, and I heated them with the heat gun until they were hot enough to melt the beeswax, and then I applied beeswax to them and then heated them back up again so the beeswax melted and wiped that, and then did the same again, and that's left a really nice finish. It's an old trick for violin necks and guitar necks, what they call a speed neck, because it makes it very, very smooth and you can move your hand up and down them very quickly. And you can feel the grain of the wood slightly. It's quite interesting. The one thing I've found with every slimline pen that I've made, and I've made quite a few of these from different places, so this isn't just specific to any one slimline pen, I think it's across the board, to be fair. I've found the actual refills inside them not too good, not to a standard I like. I use this pen all the time, it goes with me to work, and I write receipts and various things with it throughout the day. If the paper isn't absolutely perfect, it stops writing. Go to another part of the paper, it will write fine, but it won't write on that other bit, so a bit disappointing. So I thought, well, I'll have a look at that. So what I did was I had a look on the web, and I looked at Cross, actually, who are very well known in the pen industry, not pen making particularly, but you know, for pens and quality pens. And I got a couple of refills from there, and I'm just buying them in two. They cost me about £2 each, something like that. So an investment, but I've noticed a huge difference in the writing ability of this pen by putting the Cross refill in, and I'll be replacing the others. So that's just a little tip for anybody who's made one and is perhaps disappointed, because after all, the whole point of a pen is that it writes, and I just find the cheaper refills not too good. You do need a good quality, dry, non-greasy piece of paper. It's not tolerant at all, and I find the Cross refill very, very good indeed. It's been writing in here on damp paper and all sorts of things, so very, very pleased with that, and just something for you if you do use one of these. So that's a long rambling bit about pens. I'm hoping you enjoyed at least some turning today, and my method of putting CA glue on. I find it makes a really nice finish. Yes, it's shiny, but these are very shiny pens, so putting something that wasn't shiny in the middle of them I don't think would work too well. So I'll polish these up, I'll get it against a nice white background with plenty of light, and take some pictures and put those on at the end. I hope you've enjoyed the video. But don't forget UKIS, of course, that's up here as always in the corner, and that's something to look forward to next year. And hopefully I'll be a little more experienced by then, and be able to make even better things, and buy some different tools and try and experiment a little bit. But there'll be more news from UKIS coming very soon. All the people I've mentioned in today's video are down below, as well as all the UKIS stuff as normal. And thanks very much to all my subscribers. I've had one or two more since the last time, and I'm hoping that you've enjoyed the pen turning video such as it was, and the reviews of the various tools and pen blanks, etc., and pens for that matter. These are wonderful. So thanks very much for watching. A very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year to all of you. And until next time, bye bye.